Hello and
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Take over.
No, feel free. Your show.
Welcome to another Gadsby's England podcast, video podcast. You are probably sick and tired of them by now, but not when I've got this man who, my God, how long has it taken to track you down? It's been an absolute
About
nightmare.
the same length as it takes you to set up this video, which is quite a long time.
Sorry about the delay, everybody. Technical problems. When you have high-tech equipment like this,
User error, I believe, is the terminology.
User error, we'll go with that. I have the esteemed Danny Mills here, former England defender and probably quite disgruntled England pundit right now.
Oh, I've given up.
That's what you said in Brazil 2 years ago.
Give up every time.
How do we give up every time? Yeah. I mean, what angle do we come from with it now? On 5 Live, you've kind of said pretty much what has needed to be said. I've constantly tried to find new reasons, meaning in this.
Yeah.
But, there is something I want to ask you at some point during this little session, because you've experienced a tournament atmosphere. But a week on, just over a week on, what are your feelings, what are your thoughts about what's happened?
Well, I think it was summed up, I think it was the Daily Mail on the back page after the France-Iceland game, where it said, France 5, the team that beat England 2. I think that sort of said it all, really. It was a little bit embarrassing for everything. You know, Iceland are a tiny nation, smaller than Luxembourg. France destroyed them. Germany destroyed Slovakia, who we both, we struggled against. And a bit, you rack your brain looking back at it, and you go, well, who's done well in this tournament? Iceland have done well. Wales have done well. You know, the underdogs with limited resources. Why? They came to the tournament with a plan. They came to the tournament with a formation that they know. They came to the tournament with the strongest 11 that they know. They came to the tournament with a manager that they all support and buy into. And you can tell that when the goals have been scored and they celebrate with their manager. I can't remember last time England...
And their fans.
Well, not so much the fans, but I can't remember the last time England scored and they went and celebrated with their manager. I know. Venables, Bobby Robson. It wasn't Steve McLaren. No. It wasn't Sven. It wasn't Capello. It hasn't been Roy Hodgson. So who is it? Why do we have this huge disconnect between manager and team? The manager seems to be up on a pedestal. When you look at what Wales and Chris Coleman are doing together, what Lars Lagerbäck did together, and with his coach and everything else that's taken over, even Didier Deschamps to a point, and even Joachim Low, when he's not scratching himself and picking.
I'm sure everybody saw that.
Well, who didn't around the whole world? But that seems to be one of the biggest problems, that we have this huge disconnect between the team and the manager.
Actually, that hasn't been said yet. Congratulations.
Well, I'm here.
I noticed that, like Conte of Italy, they just made a beeline to him.
It's exactly the same sort of thing. But Italy came to this tournament with a plan. Basically it was, they play 3 at the back. You have, I'm not sure, well, I'm sure you heard what Vialli called them.
Yes.
What they are called, I won't say that on air. I think Inglorious.
Yeah.
Make the rest of it up. Been in films, you should know that.
You know all this stuff.
But that's, that was their main weapon. They built their team on 3 defenders that were very, very solid, and they went from there. Wales have done the same. They play a different formation to what all those players play in the Premier League. So it's not the different formation that causes a problem. Iceland play 4-4-2. The coach said before the England game, we play 4-4-2, we play on the counter-attack, we score in every game, and we score from set pieces, including long throws. He told the world. They had open training sessions where people could come and watch. But someone forgot to tell England. Wrapped up in their little camp in Chantilly, hidden away from the world. They clearly didn't hear these interviews. About Iceland's tactics.
What on earth was Roy Hodgson doing when he had a week, longer than any other team, to prepare for this?
It's a real strange one, and I think obviously it's starting to go wrong against Slovakia. first half in the first match against Russia was good, played quite well, didn't score the chances. Second half against Wales, obviously was decent, but again, was that just a case of let's just throw a load of players on and it just happened to work? And then of course he made, well, depends who you talk to, he made 6 changes from the starting lineup, or if you listen to Roy, it was 4 changes from the team that finished the game.
I think that's about 99.99% think 6.
Yes, and only Roy thinks it was 4. But Italy rested loads of players. They qualified. You can do that when you have qualified from tournaments.
And won the group.
Yeah, of course. You saw France the other night. They took off Koscielny, they took off Giroud. They were on yellow cards. Why? Because you can. Whenever the England-Slovakia game became almost like a meaningless friendly. When you bring a load of new players in, they're not used to playing with each other. They're not used to the system. They're not used to the speed of the tournament. And it didn't work. It was a massive, massive gamble. And of course you change it all back again. Some of those players hadn't played for 11 days. That's too long in tournament football. You want to be playing every 4 or 5 days. Sometimes 3 days is a little bit too soon, but you get away with it. Every 4 or 5 days, absolutely perfect. France didn't make wholesale changes at half-time when they were 4-0 up against Iceland. They waited 60, 70 minutes. Just, no, you're playing well, just keep playing. Just keep doing what you're doing. I think that was a huge mistake, leaving Rooney out. I didn't quite understand that. When you've got a team they're starting to play well, let them keep playing. Let them find each other. Let them understand how each other plays. Roy changed it, obviously, against Iceland. Sterling was a massive gamble. I think we all said before the game, Roy could be effectively putting his job on the line by playing Sterling. Started off first 4 minutes. It was good for 4 minutes. One that got in, almost got in, then won the penalty. Poor mistake from the goalkeeper. And then went missing. And I don't understand.
Went missing in every game.
Why? But this after 4 minutes, England 1-0 up. You've been through on goal, nearly got in. You've been through, got a penalty, and then suddenly you go missing. Everyone was talking. Gary Neville was talking about it. Sturridge was talking about it. Roy was talking about it, saying, "Oh, his confidence is fine. He looks good in training." So what?
It's ridiculous.
I've looked great in training at times. I've gone into a game and I've been very, very good.
Very, very. I was going to say,
but no, but you get
almost self-effacing.
Yeah, of course.
You couldn't quite get it.
You get players that are good on the training ground, but they can't play in matches.
But he's been terrible for Man City all season. Why on earth would we think it would change?
And this is the problem. And again, look at what the French did. The French took Griezmann out. He had half a bad game, but then they brought him back in. And even the Spanish, the Germans. I got the Spanish gone out, but even the Germans, especially as well, when they do something, they keep playing the same system, and they know it will happen. They keep playing the same way. They keep doing the same things. Same with the Spanish. It will happen. It will come good. France are the same. They've kept playing, and suddenly it starts to come good. England, we were hoping it was going to come good. There was no evidence to say this is going to work. And that's the biggest problem.
Did Sven know his team?
Sven knew his team. We always knew the team on a Tuesday morning. If a game was a Saturday, we'd know on a Tuesday morning. People would give the bibs out. It wasn't official.
But and a plan?
Oh yeah, it's 4-4-2. Simple as that.
But within the 4-4-2, were you? There was no issue with that.
And it's very much first pass forward. If you can't play the first pass forward with quality, whether that was 5 yards, 10 yards, 50 yards, if you can't pass the ball forward first time, when you win it back, keep it for at least 6 passes and go from there. So it was a simple philosophy. We had Michael Owen. We wanted to try and keep the ball a little bit better, go away from maybe just hitting it in the channels as a fullback or hitting it over the top all the time. But ultimately, yeah, there was a plan. But it didn't work.
Roy certainly didn't have one. He didn't have one during qualifying, to be fair, did he?
No, qualifying was too easy. That was the problem.
Yeah.
And when you look back at it, you go, well, what was the best team? The best team 8 months ago is not the best team now. Players out of form. But also, And again, you've got to start. You've got to look at the Germans. You've got to look at the French. You've got to look at the Spanish. They will play, and the Italians. They will play the right team. They will leave big players out. Deschamps took off Pogba, left him out.
Yeah.
Took off Griezmann, left him out because he didn't fit that system for the next game. The Germans will do the same. They didn't play centre forward, and then they left out Goetze and put Gomez back in, who's obviously now injured but struggling with a bit of fitness. You know, Wales have done the same. I'm not going to play these players that have done maybe great for me in the past, because this is what the system I'm going to play now. This is how I want to play. I don't think Roy's been brave enough to make those big calls and leave out those big players. He did it at the wrong time against Slovakia, and ultimately we didn't win the game, finished second in the group, and that has caused so many problems.
I mean, the thing about the Slovakia game as well was that, you know, as you say, you can argue that if you keep the system comes first, your tried and tested system comes first, and the players must fit around that. But not only did Roy not do that, he didn't have a system either to go with it.
Well, I think that the problem was against Russia, especially. Got away with it, played quite well, let the goal in. Against Wales, it was just throw all the subs on towards the end of the game. So that wasn't great. And really, it was just a case of throw everybody on. And Vardy's goal was offside. Had it not been for, you know, no one. People say he's in the right place at the right time. We got lucky, because Ashley Williams headed the ball backwards, that makes him onside. It's a fluke, you know, simple as that. Sturridge's was a good finish, and you just win the game. Just beat Wales, who haven't scored against England since 1984.
Yeah,
haven't scored against England since 1984. That is our biggest achievement in the tournament, beating Wales. You know, that's pretty damning, realistically. So again, you go on from there, and then you think Iceland, going to be difficult. Going to be a real tough game. They're organised, they're solid, breakaways, set pieces. 5 minutes, penalty, fabulous. And you go, right, that's it, sorted, 1-0 up, cruising. Get the cigars out, and we're off. You know, and we literally did. We thought that's it.
Yeah.
Once you get one,
we all thought it was.
It's over.
Yeah.
You know, they're not
3 or 4, right?
Yeah, simple as that. And then you get a long throw-in where people switch off. The first throw-in, no one gets tight to the first man. If you can't win the header, block him. Second one, you know, Kyle Walker goes to sleep. 1-1. Right, keep it solid. No. Next one, Rose gets caught out at left back. I think Sterling was tracking back, didn't track back quick enough. Ball comes into the middle. 2 passes, 3 passes on the edge of the box. No one goes tight. No one gets a challenge in. Was it Sigthorsson? I can't remember who it was. Had a touch with his foot, then his knee, bobbled off it, and still manages to keep hold of possession. You know, the moment he has a bad touch, someone should be on him. Bang, tackle, clear the danger.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Joe Hart lets it go, lets it in. But
I mean, you can.
but I can accept a mistake.
Yeah,
Joe Hart
should never have been in the position in the first place.
Joe Hart has made a mistake. We all make mistakes. Well, you make mistakes. I don't make mistakes. But it happens. You know, people make mistakes.
You made a mistake of coming on the show.
I did, exactly. But that's what happens. People make mistakes, and you can go, you know what? Whether he made them in the first game, second, he made mistakes. That I don't have a huge issue with that. The biggest issue that I have was there was no plan. There was no way to break Iceland down. And in the second half, one shot on target, Harry Kane's header, which was a difficult chance, which wasn't easy for him. That was it. There was no way. I want to know what Roy said at half-time. What was the plan at half-time? What did he say to those players? Get the ball wide, you know, maybe go 3 at the back, push the wing-backs on, get people more involved. Iceland had better chances in the second half than England did. They could have won it 3 or 4-1 in the end.
Yeah.
You know, and then he put Vardy on. There must have, if you're a manager, you're a coach, you have to say at half-time, right, this is what we're going to do. Lee, I want you to play on the right wing, get your heels on the touchline, as soon as the ball comes, you get the ball in the box. If after 15 minutes it's not working, I'm going to bring Vardy on, and we're going to change to this system, and this is the new plan when I bring Vardy on. So everybody knows what's going on. It was really, people came in, it was like, what we're doing?
Yeah.
Where are you playing? So, and that's how it was.
But there was also another thing that goes with it, and it's something that, again, I want to bring back to when you played. Not only everything you've just said transpired awfully, but I mean, I noticed from the crowd, the players looked absolutely petrified. As this game wore on, you always said something, which is that concentration. Once the concentration goes in the slightest, you're out. They looked petrified.
They need to grow up here. Come on.
But it's not the first time.
No, but this is what they do, time in, day out. You know, are you nervous when you play for England? Yes, you are a little bit. Was I ever petrified? No, never. You know.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
Even when I played in the World Cup, obviously my first competitive game against Sweden, you know, made a little mistake for the goal. Scholes, he should have got tighter, by the way, and stopped him scoring, but never mind, it wasn't my fault. No, but I did. I was overconfident, chested the ball down, slipped, cleared it, and they smashed it in. You go into the second game against Argentina, knowing that you have to win the game. If not, you go out. Wasn't scared. Wasn't fearful. Just wanted to go out and wanted to, you know, do my job. Went out there with a plan. This is what I have to do. Stop Kili Gonzalez. You know, Lopez comes on. Stop him from, you know, making runs. Defend. Stop them scoring. So you go out with the mindset, right, this is my job. If I'm not playing well offensively or going forward, this is what I have to do. I stop the opposition. And you do that. That should be your remit in every single position on the pitch. You slip, right, first job, stop the opposition as a defender. Second job, can you get forward? You know, all those sort of things. And it's just basic principles of football.
Was the fact that it was Argentina, did that give extras? Because I think what was fearful as well was that they knew this was Iceland, and that they would, if we'd been playing France, you know, it's different.
Yeah, but
do you think that?
No, you should just go. I don't understand why you just don't go out and try and blow teams away.
Did you feel any differently playing Sweden than you did Argentina?
No, not for me.
As you walked out there?
No, not at all. And even in friendlies when I came on in games, I wasn't scared. I wanted to do well. You know, if you're having a bad game, you're having a bad game. You know, things don't go for you. It's nothing to do with the opposition or nothing to do with the press. You just, sometimes you have a bad game and you go, all right, okay, I'm having a bad game. It's not because, it shouldn't be because it's what you're scared of.
They look scared. I don't understand.
I loved playing for England. I used to relish the fact of putting myself under pressure, testing myself. You know, I remember first couple of minutes against Brazil in the quarter-final. Roberto Carlos, you know, one of the best left-backs in the world ever. Quick as anything, goes, okay, I'm going to knock the ball past, we'll have a race. And I went, you know what, bring it on.
Did he tell you that?
No, but that's what he did.
He gave you the look.
Well, yeah, because you know, all he did, he got the ball and he went, right, he went, bang, knocked it 20, 30 yards past me. And I was just turn on your bike, son, you know, and let's have a race. And I went, yeah, okay. And you challenge yourself. You relish those opportunities to prove yourself. The current crop of players, again, I think it's Ryan Giggs was very, very good on ITV, and we are creating robots in academies. Players that have no character, players that can't think for themselves, players that don't have an opinion about football anymore. They keep looking to the bench. Old adage was, if you keep looking at the bench, you should be sat on the bench.
Yeah.
You should be able, at 21, 22, 23, know enough about the game to tweak it. 24, 25, 26, in your prime, you should have the ability to change it yourself during the gameplay. We did it all the time. You know, whatever the game plan was, you'd score. You'd say, right, next 10, 15 minutes we keep it solid, and we'll turn them, we'll put them in behind. And I'm not talking about long balls, we just turn them around, get back in their half, and get back on the front foot. Keep them under pressure. All those sort of principles seem to have gone out the window. Like I said, Italy, simple game. Wales, simple game. Northern Ireland did well, simple game. England tried to overcomplicate it.
With characters in those teams, as you say.
Well, me and Chris Waddle got slaughtered before the squad was picked, saying you had to have Rooney in it because he's a leader, he's a character, and we said you don't win anything without characters. And you know, of course, all the talk is about Euro '96, and you go through that side, and there was 10, 15 leaders, characters. There was probably 7 or 8, I'm just guessing, 7 or 8 captains, club captains of their football clubs. You know, who's going to change things in that England team, apart from Rooney? Joe Hart can't, he's in goal. Smalling doesn't say anything.
Cahill would be the only
Walker,
other.
right? But I don't think he would, because John Terry's always led him that way and told him what to do, and he's followed John Terry's footsteps. You know, Wilshire's not going to do it.
No.
You know, sometimes you need players on the pitch go, you know what? Sod the manager. Don't care what he said. And even when we had, you know, Neville, Scholes, Butt, David Seaman, you know, Teddy Sheringham. You know, and I go back to that squad of 2002 in the World Cup. Players on the bench, Sheringham, Keown, Southgate. You know, Nicky Butt sort of didn't start, then came on. You know, you had experienced players that were prepared to speak up. David James, Nigel Martin, 2 substitute goalkeepers that would still have an opinion and try and help you out with what was going on. And that's the big difference. I think it goes back to the same old thing. Players are spoiled too much too soon, too early. Gareth Bale, was he right about Wales have more passion, more pride? Possibly.
Well, they certainly have more leaders on the pitch, don't they?
But,
Ashley Williams,
if you
Aaron Ramsey.
dangled the option, would somebody rather win the Champions League or the Euros? I think a lot of them might go for the the Champions League.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't surprise me.
You'd never have.
No, I wouldn't. But you look at it now, and you know, well, I'm not so sure. Some of them might. There's more money involved in it. There's possibly more prestige. And this is where we go back to
I couldn't say that.
what does playing for your country mean in the last 7 or 8 years, football-wise? Only in England. When I look at it, you go, look at the rugby. Everyone's talking about the rugby team. What's changed? We have to say, well, new coach has come in, and he's laid the law down and say, right, you don't do it, you're out. You don't do it, you're out. This is my way, this is how we play. You don't like it, do one. Aussie, quite blunt, to the point, no problem. Cricket, exactly the same. Don't perform, you're out. Those players have to be in the international squad to get the prestige and to earn decent money. If not, their career is effectively over.
It is.
So they have to be in that international side. If you said to some of those England players, you won't play for England again, will it really affect their life? Will they really be affected by not playing for England?
No, only their legacy.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
But they don't see that.
So that is half the problem. Because even when I was still playing, you had to play for your country to get a better contract. You had to play for your country to get the prestige, to be at recognition, to be well known. Whatever you wanted, you had to play for your country. Now, players don't. They get so much in the Premier League that internationals are almost a distraction. And it's the wrong way round at the moment.
That's really depressing if that's true. I mean, my experience with that is the small conversations I've had with players is they certainly say, they talk it up, they certainly say that.
But there's a huge disconnect. Look at what's happened since England have gone out of the tournament. Sterling's tweeting about he's bought a new car or whatever he's done, whatever.
His silver toilet seat.
Dele Alli's on holiday with Gary Lineker's brother in Ibiza in a bar. Fine, players need their holiday, I get that, it's not an issue. You need to go away, you need to chill out, you need to relax. But keep a low profile.
Yeah.
Go to America, no one knows you. You know, but seriously.
After what they've seen of England, it's on their papers
it's big enough, you can get lost, you can hide.
2 Brexits.
But you can hide.
Yeah.
You know, go somewhere, don't go where you know the press are going to be and they're going to be, you know, looking for you. Don't put yourself out there. So when these players say that they're scared and they're concerned about the media, well, they're tweeting about stuff. They're putting themselves in the line of fire to be shot down. That's their biggest problem. So have a bit of common sense. Take yourself out of that situation. Just hide away until the season starts. Until you go back to pre-season.
That's exactly
just go hide away.
What the fans, it riles the fans up more than anything, apart from what happened on the pitch.
Unfortunately, money is always going to come into it, because whatever happens, people less fortunate would always say, well, they've got money, they don't care. It's not they don't care, because every player cares he's losing games and wants to win the game. But it's that brazen attitude of, well, we're out, so what? That's what hurts fans, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, where they should have had the brazen attitude on the pitch,
yeah,
playing the game. Yeah, I'm going to go into a few questions.
Go for it.
From
Iceland are heroes.
Yeah, yeah.
They got absolutely tonked against France, but they are heroes. And do you know why? They kept going. They did what they had to do. They tried hard. They gave it everything. And their fans stayed the other night until 25 minutes, half an hour after the game. You know, doing the... Whoa.
Yeah, which people are copying now.
Whoa. And it was brilliant. And actually, before the game, don't know whether it came across on TV or not, all the French fans did it with them before the game. And it was fabulous to see.
Yeah, yeah. I believe they got a guard of honour as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been absolutely brilliant. You can't take that away from them. And they can, as you say, they can walk out of this tournament saying, we have not done anything
walk
but
out
our
of tournament
best.
and we beat England.
Well, that's the worst thing for us, is their last victory was against us. Ah, dear, all right, we've got a ton of questions.
We're all going to move to Reykjavik.
That's not bad, actually.
Well, it's not, because looking at some of the people in the crowd, it's not a bad place to live.
Midnight Sun, half the year. Multiple suicides the other part of the year. Sorry, Icelandics. Look, I've selected a few because we don't have a huge amount of time. We touched upon this a little bit, but Justin in Washington, D.C., I don't know if he's a Brit or an American, asks...
Is he a basketball? Is he a Wizards fan?
Are you a Wizards fan, Justin?
I want to know.
Maybe you can
I
post
like
it.
them. Go Wizards.
All right, there you go. You've already got in his good books. I think he might be English because he's quite specific. When you played, it's about fear again. You've kind of answered it, but I'll ask you anyway. How much fear did you sense around that England team? If not you, did you sense fear around that England team in 2002? There seemed to be signs of it in the first game against Sweden in the second half and against Brazil, in both cases after we took the lead. Sven used to get criticised that when we took the... Is it comparable to this England team?
No, not at all. It's not fear. It's just a natural reaction that you go 1-0 up, and then they score, they equalise. Oh, we're on the back foot. Because the momentum shifts. They're suddenly in the ascendancy, and you're thinking, right, you know, we've gone 1-0 up, cruising. 1-1. Okay, now they've got their tails up. They've got a bit of confidence. So naturally, you sit back a little bit. You know, it's not fear. You just, you know, you don't want them to score again. You know, even with Argentina, you know that the opposition can come onto you. But look at some of the clearances. Look at some of the effort put in that last 15, 20 minutes. You know, players on the line.
I think it was one of the best games England have ever played.
Throwing bodies in the way, you know, heading things off the line, kicking things. It was, you know, it was Pickfords. It was, you know, tin hats were coming out of sinks, sofas. It was just deflecting anything to get it out of the way. It's not. I've never gone out on a football pitch being fearful of anything. And I don't understand. Yes, under pressure. I feel a bit under pressure to perform. But under pressure from who? From myself. I know how good I am. I know how good I'm not. So therefore, I have to go and play to my standard.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'm disappointed.
Right.
I'm not bothered what anybody else thinks.
So it would have been much more about mistakes, just plain old mistakes, as you said, rather than you losing any kind of concentration because you were worried or anxious.
But equally, turn that round again, and Iceland the perfect example. At times, their players were just hoofing the ball out of play, clearly, blatantly not doing what they're supposed to do. They didn't turn around and start going, doing all that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Or it was like, okay, mistake. Go back to what we do.
Yeah.
Go back to the plan.
Yeah.
Carry on doing because we believe in the plan.
Yeah.
Believe what we're doing. That's not. Wales the same. Player makes a mistake. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Didn't mean it. So therefore, players aren't getting on their back. Crowd don't get on their back. And that's a huge difference.
So I think the answer to that is no. That you certainly didn't feel fear, and that.
I think England players now are too selfish.
But it's not fear.
No, I think they're more worried about themselves and how they will be portrayed in the media than anything else.
So it's an anxiety. All right, next one. Somebody who listened to our discussion in Brazil.
By the way, I can't still believe he's using a BlackBerry.
Listen.
Do they still exist?
iPhone for show, BlackBerry for a pro.
Right.
No, it doesn't exist. It's a figment of your mind.
Oh, you say, yeah.
It's a,
It's like a Nokia, whatever it is.
Listen, some of us aren't flash and up to date.
Really?
Like,
Really?
I guess living in LA,
Yeah.
probably should get something about this. Anyway, this is where the questions
Oh,
are.
sorry, yeah. Back to the BlackBerry.
This comes from Phil, who is an expat in Florida. I listened to your discussion in 2014. Do you remember that when we had that discussion in Belo
It's
Horizonte?
probably the same as one as 2012, 2010.
Well, you're in trouble if you don't remember it. And I remember you said one of the biggest problems was that the best players in the Premier League were foreign. This was a huge reason why England failed in Brazil. But Wales have an even smaller pool to choose from. So do you not think the real reason is not the quality of player, but the collective team?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Wales punch well above their weight. Iceland have punched above their weight. Italy have even punched above their weight during this tournament. But ultimately, we go on about, the English Premier League is the best product, best league in the world. No, it's not.
No way.
It's the most exciting. We do have some of the best players in the world, but they're not English. There isn't. Go through the England team. There isn't a single player in that England squad who is really the first name on the team sheet of any of their teams. There is not a team where that is built around.
Yeah. Just hold that thought for 1 second. We might have a slight technical hitch here.
I can fix that.
It's not all the girls going crazy.
No, I can fix that with my portable battery charger.
Brilliant. Isn't this great? There we go. Oh, you're a top man. Danny Mills of the portable charger, everybody.
It's called common sense, young Lee. Common sense.
Something that my mother said I've never ever had. Something you've obviously.
I'm going to go for the cashew nuts while you're up.
Go for it. It's a good job this is being... oh, wait a minute, it's live. Oh, yeah. Premier League, best players in it are foreign.
Yeah, they are. And which is great. We want to see all those players. Excuse me, talking with my mouth, I'm not eating with my mouth. That's always going to happen. But there aren't too many players, that it's built around. They're the best players in England, in the Premier League, foreign players, they're who the team's built around. And then the England players just slot in. And that's changed maybe in the last 8 years or so. Maybe 6 years or so. Suddenly now, Rose and Walker, well actually, Davis and Trippier played at times. They weren't first choice fullbacks at their club. Now Harry Kane was. Then you go through the rest of the team. Rooney was in and out of form at Manchester United.
Bad season.
Sterling, out of form at Manchester City, was never in the team. Lallana wasn't always in the team at Liverpool. Cahill, not always in the team at Chelsea. Smalling was in the team, but I wasn't convinced. Wilshere played 3 games.
That was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else played in the England side. Dele Alli was great. But again, he's a young player. It should be that young player where he's going into a senior team and he's allowed a bit of freedom within that to play. He shouldn't be the main man at 20, 21 years old.
And his confidence just seemed to
of
wane
course
as
it
the
does.
tournament.
And everyone got on the back of Harry Kane. He didn't have a great game against Russia, first half.
Because he was too busy on the flank taking
but
corners.
Doesn't make him a bad player.
No.
Griezmann got the hook. Griezmann got dragged off in the first game. But he brought him back because he had belief in him. And would have said to him, you know what, didn't quite work for you. Played you maybe the wrong position, now I'm going to play down the middle and sort it, and this is what I want you to do. And he's been on fire.
And Roy dropped Kane immediately, didn't
You
he?
don't become a bad player overnight. 45-minute performance, even if it's horrendous, doesn't make you a bad player and doesn't mean you should be dropped from the side.
No. So I guess the answer to that is that Wales were punching above their weight. But I guess the point is,
But
do we
Ashley
need to pick
Williams is one of the main players in the Swansea team. Gareth Bale obviously is one of the main players at Real Madrid. And then all of a sudden, Ramsey, when he plays well for Arsenal, he's a good player. But then they have a plan, and they know that the rest of the team are not as good as those players. Ben Davies still a good player, but they know what their plan was. They know that they knew their limitations. They knew their jobs. They were not trying to be something that they weren't.
But that's easier in a way when you have that.
Well, of course it is.
Or maybe England should.
And maybe they don't quite have the arrogance of thinking they're better than they actually are.
Why don't we get the next England manager just to pick a load of underdog, to make it an underdog squad from the Championship?
It goes back to how much desire do those players want to play for their country.
Well, you'd think in the Championship there'd be some real characters, and they'd...
Well, you know, you do need... There was enough quality in that England squad to go and win matches, without a shadow of a doubt. So you have to look at the players, and you have to look at the manager. Tactics, personnel changes, and what did the players do? Ultimately, the tactics were wrong, the personnel probably were wrong, formations were wrong, and the players didn't play well.
4 years he had to sort it out as well, and yeah, he didn't. All right, let's move on.
Back to the BlackBerry. Technical issues, BlackBerry.
The only thing we've had technical issues with is that one.
Well, yeah, because you forgot to charge it.
Well, you know, I'm perfect, but not that. You know, even perfection has
its limitations.
All right, this is going to make you happy, Danny. Thanks for all you did for Leeds United.
Ah,
you're a legend in Yorkshire. Says Gary, Leeds born and bred, lives in Dallas since 1995. Well, that's quite a change. You know, I'm sure Gary could tell some stories.
Done a bit of Texas.
Absolutely, he's probably a good old cowboy now. I've lived out here for 20 years now, and I'm sick of watching England disgrace.
21 if it was 1995.
Gary, it is 2016. Okay. Just so you know, I don't know. Maybe in Texas they haven't. You know,
just do the maths.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Gary.
Stop listening to Donald Trump and you know. Sorry,
stop building that wall.
Gary, you're a viewer, and I don't have enough. So whatever you want. If you want to say it's 20 years, that's fine. I'm sick of watching England disgrace themselves every time. Americans actually can't believe it here and keep asking the same question. How is it possible that we've only reached a semi-final twice since 1966? And how can we keep blaming it on the Premier League when it happened for the 20 years before that too? A bit of a historical question there. It's
well, when you think that...
It's a tricky one, that.
World Cup semi-final before that.
Before, yeah.
Euro 96 semi-final.
Just after the Premier League.
Yeah, so they were doing okay at that point. You know, they were still, 86, hand of God.
But the 70s, we had a just amazing players.
Sometimes it happened to Germany. It happened to Spain. Spain didn't win anything for years. Football is cyclical. It does happen in that way. But at the moment, we don't seem to have a plan to bounce back from it. And that is the biggest concern.
He seems to be saying it's some sort of disease that Graham Taylor once said to me the worst thing that ever happened to England was winning the World Cup in 1966, because after that we felt we had this right.
Not sure it's the worst thing that ever happened.
No, you know what? And this is a man who punched his chandelier.
Yeah, try telling Jeff Hurst that. But look at that team. Jimmy Greaves, best striker in the football in England at that time.
But Al Franzi had the
dropped.
Yeah.
He had the man coconuts to drop him. I wasn't quite sure what phrase I could use.
Man coconuts.
Yeah. He had the
Luckily we're not
kahunas.
FCC.
No, he had the kahunas to leave out one of the best players, best centre forward.
Yeah.
And so sorry, but you're not playing. You don't fit my plan.
And how much responsibility did those players take amongst themselves on that pitch? Bobby Moore. And
that's the difference. We go back to having leadership, having the bottle to stand up and be counted. You know what? I'm here. I'm going to do my best. If it's not good enough, it's not good enough. But I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do my best. And that's all you can ask of people. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough.
I mean, the England players, to be fair, would probably say to you, "How can you say we didn't? We may have been terrible, but I went out. They believed
because they had one shot in the second half against Iceland.
But they still believed. Or do you think they?
Yeah, but surely you have to. You're chasing the game, and it's clearly not working. Whatever the manager said, it ain't working.
Right.
Because you haven't had a shot on target. Right. You need to score a goal.
Right. So because you believe you're doing your best doesn't mean you're doing your best.
So what should you do? Change it. It's cliche, old adage, whatever it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It was broke.
Right.
So change it. Do something with it. Take responsibility.
Which they did not do.
lump a few balls in the box. Where was Andros Townsend, the winger?
That is just
Roy.
ridiculous.
We played Portugal in the friendly, and Roy was obviously convinced he was going to play this diamond with Vardy and Kane up front. It went so wrong against Portugal because they ended up playing wing backs. Rooney ended up playing centre forward, and he had to have a massive rethink, and suddenly went to 4-3-3. But he left out Andros Townsend. No real thought. Point of bringing Ross Barkley was?
That's ridiculous. Or John Stones, for that matter.
You might as well bought Andy Carroll. You might as well Andros Townsend. So you know what? Last 5 minutes we need a goal. Let's lump it in the box. Whoever that's against.
Yeah.
Let's do something a little bit. It's about winning football matches in that last 5, 10, 15 minutes. And we said, actually, can you imagine if we'd have played Keown, Mills at the back, goalkeeper, find a goalkeeper from somewhere. The pundits all that are out here. Waddle on the wing. Shearer there in the middle.
It's a good pub team, that.
Well, but we'd have had more shots on target than one. We might have let 4 in at the other end. But we'd have had more shots on target.
You probably could have at least drawn with Iceland, couldn't you?
Well, yeah. Well, maybe not. That's disrespectful to Iceland. But you get my point. Why not? There's no. They shouldn't cause England any problem whatsoever.
But you were all leaders. You knew who you were. You knew what you wanted.
Well, that's why we're all quite happy to sit on the radio, on the telly, and talk about it.
Can you imagine Chris? I would all like.
But he coaches Sunday League football, and players. Again.
Well, the FA. Well, here's the thing that it almost, kind of prompted, which is the FA. How many times has it gone to these? I mean, Bobby Moore used to say the FA never, in 40 years, or however long he lived after that, he never got a call from the FA for his advice. Have you ever got a call from the FA? Well, you got that.
Yeah, but this is
silly on their part, wasn't it? I mean,
this is the problem. How many people at the FA are experts on football? Not many.
No, Martin Glenn was what was he in?
So get experts in on football. Yeah. Sir Clive Woodward was the perfect man for the job in rugby. Wasn't the greatest rugby coach of all time, but was one of the best organisers and managers of people that there was. So he got right. I need the best fitness coach, and I need him to work with the best conditioning coach. I need him to work with the best backs coach and the best forwards coach. And I'll put all these people together, and I'll manage the situation so they all get on, and we've got a happy camp, and we go and win the World Cup. That's what management is. It happens in business. The guy that runs, the chairman or the CEO, doesn't have to be the best guy, but he's the best manager of people.
Yeah.
Getting other people to do things. Yeah. He's not the inventor.
Yeah.
He's not making stuff on the shop floor. He's not designing stuff. Yeah. He's managing people. Yeah. And that should be the role of the England manager, or someone above that as a technical director. And we don't have anybody.
And apparently it was 6s and 7s. Apparently it got to with Neville and Hodgson. Apparently were. I don't know what you've heard about that.
And this is the issue. When things start to go wrong, people start pointing fingers and go, "Well, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's nothing to do with me." And that's a bit of that can be a problem, and that does certainly.
Well, it's catastrophic, in
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
But that's always going to happen when you lose and when you go out and things like that.
I mean, had we scraped through against Iceland, they are narrow margins, aren't they? Had we scraped through against Iceland, then played really well against France. We're talking,
had we have scraped through against Russia, who were awful.
Right, Slovakia.
We just scraped through against Wales, who hadn't scored against in 1984. George Orwell reference in there somewhere. Animal Farm, if you're watching. For all you literacy buffs.
Well, it feels like Room 101 for the past 20 years. Doesn't it?
And after that, couldn't beat Slovakia, couldn't beat Iceland. That's not scraping through. That's been annihilated by some very average sides.
No. And you look at Italia 90, we had some close calls in there, but at the end of it, I mean, you remember Cameroon going 2-1 down, but in the end,
but France did. France had a close escape in the first game. They won it.
That's what leaders do, though. They get you through it.
Good players come up and they do something a bit different.
Yeah.
Change it, whatever.
Your mate Lineker sorted them out against Cameroon, didn't he?
And that's what happens. Players will do something, and sometimes you cannot. To win a tournament, you cannot play well for 6 or 7 games straight.
No,
doesn't happen. You know, Spain when they won the World Cup, they lost their opening game. You know, Germany in the last World Cup weren't brilliant. The Italians in 96, no,
2006 were media.
Well, yeah.
1982 they didn't win a single group game, did they?
They weren't brilliant, but they went on to win it. You know, you have to build through the tournament. You have to get away with a couple of problems. And the problem, once England got into that half of the draw, to get to the final, they were going to have to play outstanding 3 or 4 times in a row, and you can't do that. Look at Wales. You know, they've had to beat Northern Ireland.
Yeah, it's a tough game.
Where they were poor. Wales were poor, and they won the game. You can't be poor against Germany. You can't be poor against Italy. You can't be poor against Spain, because you get knocked out. And that's obviously England's side of the draw, is what happened. Or had they got through against Iceland. You know, they can't be poor against France. So that's why not winning the group, and that catastrophic decision to make 6 changes, or 4, depending on how you count. I still think it's 6.
Split down the middle and call it 5.
Well, yeah, that would have been interesting, wouldn't it? That was one of the worst decisions, and maybe it's costing them this.
I mean, it beggars belief, and every single fan was saying, "Wait a minute, have we won the group yet?"
Yeah.
Because Roy certainly thinks we have.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most bizarre decisions.
But Slovakia on a bad side.
The thing
Although
is,
the
is
Germans
like,
ripped them apart.
the thing is Sven, for his criticism, it was constant. He didn't do. People said he didn't have a plan B, but he wasn't eccentric in.
No, but he kept getting to quarterfinals.
He got his quarterfinals. Exactly.
He kept getting
Perhaps with that team.
Well, but even still
especially
lost.
that 2002 team, Danny.
But lost it even after that, 04 and whatever it was, 06. Lost out on penalties at times.
Yeah, at least he got us to a point where
penalty. That is unlucky.
Yeah, and we had Rooney sent off in 2006.
Yeah, you know, there are circumstances that you do get unlucky, and penalty shootouts are often that case.
I mean, I still think we should have played better, but you're right. We had leaders, we had a plan. It didn't get us through. That's it. All right, people. I know you probably want these questions. Easy one. Robin. Oh, in Ipswich. I think that's Ipswich.
Tractor boy.
That's isn't that your?
I'm Norwich. No, that.
Oh, okay. So I'll get rid of that one then.
No, you can read it out. They are the scum of the earth.
And that's where we finished, ladies and gentlemen.
Ipswich fans.
Rob. I should ask it anyway,
yes.
but he can't spit back. Remember that,
even
even on an iPhone.
I spat on the floor, not at him.
Can spit off on the back, probably. Yeah. Should the next manager be foreign or English, and who? Would you be interested in a coaching role with the same no-nonsense approach you show on the radio? I'm not sure if he would ask the same question after you.
There's 4 questions in one there. Who should be the next manager? Don't know. It's a real problem. There should be 2, 3 maximum outstanding candidates to pick from. We have about 40 names on the list, and they're all the odds to be the next manager are all very, very similar. That's a massive problem. There is no outstanding candidate, to take over.
Hoddle?
He's been out of it for a long, long time. He has baggage. I think he would do it. I think he has a bit of unfinished business. I think he might be good. But the way that social media is, the way that public opinion is, would the past come back to haunt him? He'd have to come out and do something incredibly, hold his hands up and say, I'm sorry, I've changed. I'm not sure he would do that at his stage in life.
He is certainly the only clear English manager with the tactical nous, and perhaps he got it too young in the first place. I think he's got rid of some of the more...
Well, he's only mid-50s now.
Well, I mean, it was too young to have the job.
Quite
and
possibly.
I think he's a better man manager now, probably, than he was.
And he's probably a different person.
Yeah.
But will the FA look at that? Will the past come back to haunt him?
I don't think so.
So that's a problem. Gareth Southgate is too young.
Doesn't want it.
I think he would take it full time. He doesn't want to be the interim manager and be used as a scapegoat. But ultimately, I think Gareth knows that it's probably a little bit too soon for him. He needs another 2-4 years with the 21s, building that group, earning that experience, learning about tournament football, which he's just done very well at Toulon. But it's a little bit too soon for him. Sam Allardyce?
Not my... Saggers thought he would be good, but...
Well, don't listen to Saggers. Saggers just shouts and screams at people. Have a look at Saggers' rants when he does that. He starts firing guns and all sorts.
It was great though.
Oh, it was, and it wasn't too far wrong.
I mean, the fans were just going, yes, yes, like we scored a goal.
He did get very, very passionate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are no outstanding. Would I want it? No. Would I want to be involved in it? Probably not. Again,
Really?
Well,
Isn't it like the
players aren't going to listen to you.
They listen to you.
They don't.
Look.
They won't. Players now, they're not interested. You know, you've got Shearer, Lineker, Keown. That you could have just said Southgate. You know, you could have just said to him, Waddle, Rio. What do you want? Gary Neville's tried it. I don't want to listen to him either.
But then you've just said what you do with those people, like Eddie Jones did.
Well, that's the thing.
It's my way or you're out.
Yeah,
and
well,
I'll pick Championship players.
That's the big thing. You've got to turn around and say, right, this is the New England format, and give the and the press have got to buy into it. The FA have got to buy into it. Everyone, and it might go bad for a couple of years. And you say, you know what? This is what we're doing. This is how we're going to play. This is the style I want to play. And if you don't like it, don't turn up. If you don't turn up once, you ain't coming again.
Apart from you, the only manager I could think of would be Waddle or Redknapp who would do that.
No, Redknapp can't. He's not a good enough coach at that level.
You think so?
No. But that's what someone has to do. Right, this is how we're playing. This is what I'm doing, and I need 4 years. And get carte blanche. I'm leaving him out, and the press have to buy into it.
Yeah.
And the press have to back that manager.
The problem is that what you said at least is a bit different to the FA. We have to go. It's the same thing. We have to go back to grassroots. Really look at this. But you're right in the sense they go on about that. But what they then do is they don't back a new manager in the way that you're saying. 4 years, the manager or the highway.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And say actually no. And if you are made a social pariah by refusing to play for your country, then let it be known.
Good.
Well, exactly. Let's see what real fear is about.
Yeah. I think there are more English leaders in the Championship probably than there are.
But it might suddenly make those players suddenly. Oh, actually, I need to turn up properly, and I need to put a shift in. And actually, it's a friendly, but I need to turn up, and it's going to be competitive, and I'm fighting for my place.
Would you, if even your club manager had said, I really don't want you to go and play...
I pulled out of one game, and that wasn't through my own choice. I turned up for the game. I had a really bad ankle. It was a friendly for the under-21s. Peter Taylor was manager. Actually, I think it was due to be played at Portman Road. Ipswich fans. Great pitch, by the way, at Portman Road.
Just lovely place.
No, it was. The grounds in there was fantastic. I think it might be at Wembley now. It was a fantastic pitch to play on. But I think we were going to play an under-21 friendly there, and I had a bad ankle. And Peter Taylor went, look, we're going to play on Wednesday night. You've got a game Saturday for your club. Go home.
Oh, so it was nothing to do with you pulling
out?
out.
No.
And for the senior team...
I turned up knowing full well my best chance of being involved was being on the bench. Gary Neville was there, he was playing, end of story. I still turned up. I trained hard, I worked hard, in the hope that something might happen to Gary. You know, he might get food poisoning, or he might stub his toe, or I might stamp on him at some point. You know, break his other foot. It wasn't me the first time, by the way. And I might get a game.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah, because no friends in this game. I was desperate, absolutely desperate.
You'd never have
no
turned
chance, absolutely. And if
O'Leary would have been O'Leary, was it at the time?
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You would have said not a chance.
No chance.
Because Ferguson used to come in, didn't he, and say, "You, you're not going," and they wouldn't.
Well, Ferguson was great in Man United, but
it was awful to England, wasn't
ultimately, he's Scottish as well. Don't forget. But ultimately,
why that would make any difference.
I wanted to play for my country, and that was the pinnacle. So therefore, if they asked, I was going.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. Fair play to you. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't the case. This is interesting, actually. I will ask this one. Sarah from Toronto. God, we miss great time.
Hi, Sarah.
Do you think the anxiety...
I've got a mate that's Canadan.
I'm sure that they know they're Canadan as well.
It's Canadan.
Yeah. Where's that then?
Well, it's Canada. If it's Canada, you'd be Canadan. You're American, you're American.
Yeah, because Romania is Romanian, because it already has the...
There you go, you see. So Canada's got it wrong.
This isn't Gadsby's geography,
well, it should be. It should be, because my mate's from the capital. It's not Canada. If it was Canada, you'd be Canadian.
I'm going through my head now. I'll get you on this one. There'll be some country.
You can see. You need to change it, Canada. All you Canadians out there need to become Canadians.
What's his name? Justin Trudeau. He's very modern thinking.
Justin Bieber.
He's Canadian as well.
He's Canadan.
I'll call him that next time I see him at some LA club.
Name drop. Name drop.
Oh, I've no desire, but Justin. Anyway, Sarah asks, do you think the anxiety of the fans gets to the players? I was in Nice. Good for you. And the fans were angry, but they also seemed to panic. Do you think that was heard by the players? And did you ever?
It's perpetual. You know, one affects the other. But ultimately, generally, unless you've got England fans have been brilliant. Let's be honest. They've sung their hearts out. They've backed the team no matter what.
But when Northern Ireland fans go 1-0 down, they sing even louder.
Yeah, they're used to it. When Iceland fans are 1-0 down, they're used to it. England maybe have this little bit of arrogance that we should be winning games.
Well, we should.
Why?
Because this is another subject. I mean,
exactly. Because we're English and we invented the game. And we've got good players.
We're the only country with a major league, and it's the national sport.
What did we do in the last World Cup?
I agree. But
don't agree with me, then argue with me. What did we do in the worst World Cup? We were rubbish. What are we doing this Euros?
No,
we're rubbish.
But the fans, in my opinion...
But we go there and we still expect to win games.
My opinion...
Not the fans' fault, by the way.
The fans expect... You ask why the fans expect. Yeah. Because they can't equate the fact that every other major country, including Spain, finally...
Well, no, I think what they can't equate is that we have quality players that don't perform.
That's the point.
That's the big problem. But no...
It's our national sport,
But ultimately,
Danny.
I used to play... When I played at Middlesbrough, you know, and we didn't always have... The crowd weren't always behind us from moment one. Steve McLaren was the manager, and he used to come to a couple of us during the before the game started in the dressing room, and he'd say, right, so today, we're playing whoever. Crowd, you can just tell sometimes. Crowd need lifting from early on. Go and smash somebody early on. Go have a run, knock it down the road. Have a run or have a long shot from some distance and get the crowd going. Get the crowd on their do something to get the crowd on their feet. Big tackle. Whatever it is, you know, give them something to start cheering about. Oh, yeah, you know, they love a tackle or a run or something, anything like that. Just give them the impetus to start cheering. And then they start cheering, they go, oh, actually, and the players respond a bit more. And then the crowd respond. But you need that initial spark and that catalyst.
Would the crowd ever respond well to being 2-1 down against Iceland, though?
Well, if you'd come out second half and said, right, this is the new game plan. Get the ball wide, fire balls in the box. Pepper the goal. Yes, they would have backed them.
Probably, yeah.
Or, I tell you what, let's just go tippy-tappy. Let's not bother having a shot. Let's not get any crosses
Overhit passes.
Let's... body language.
Terrible.
There's a mistake. You know, unfortunately, Harry Kane thought he was playing Freddie Jones. Kept kicking it into touch. You know, things were going wrong. And what are the fans supposed to say?
Yeah.
You know, they then look at it and go, well, hang on a minute, only one shot on target. Well, how hard are they trying?
Right. I mean, there you go, Sarah. It's a symbiotic relationship.
At least Côte d'Azur was very, very nice.
Yeah. But
I hope you went along to Antibes or something like that, or your good man or whoever took you along to Cap d'Antibes and Eden Rock.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that you paid all that money for that. So the answer is then they can sometimes get you down, the fans. You can.
Yeah, but you've got to rise above it. I've been booed by my own fans. I've been booed by opposition fans.
Didn't affect your play.
Not really, no.
Right.
You just went, get on with it. You know, ultimately you play better.
Yeah.
If you don't like being booed, play better. It's not hard.
There are so many more questions.
Go on, rattle through a load. Come on. One word answers.
From Estella in Argentina. How would I'm not sure how this is quite pertinent. How would England fare against South American teams now? Because here we think the standard has also really fallen. Can we draw a parallel?
No, we'd get battered every single time. Next question.
Well, I only selected these ones.
The standard hasn't fallen that low. You're fine.
I'm trying to think what the other. Well, I selected 6 because there were so flipping many. Off the top of my head, what did some people say?
You mean there were 7?
Danny, are you single?
No. Sorry, darling. No,
that comes from John. Actually.
Well, there you go. Sorry, John, I'm not.
No, we're going to have to wrap it up there, I think, Millsy. I mean, it's been another...
I think your Tinder's just buzzed. I think you got to swipe left. Swipe right, whatever it is.
No, that's actually Tonda. It's
Oh,
a different
Tonda,
one.
Tonda. Oh, sorry.
It's kind of a map.
Lee's got something app called Happening as well.
Yeah.
Or not happening.
It's rare. Yeah, this is live. Don't
Yeah,
you?
I know,
Yeah,
can't be edited.
Yeah, you're a lovely bloke, aren't you?
Not really.
Oh dear. On that note, oh god, the thing's gone mad now. Look, it's just
there you go. You see,
you know.
that's all those people think you're on Happening now. They're looking for you.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
It's Paris, the city of romance.
Exactly. Not for Lee.
Right.
Single that he is.
Thanks, future England manager. So I'll never forget this evening. Right. Let's go off and dance into the night then.
Bonsoir.
Thank you everybody for listening. What a character, eh?
Go and enjoy yourselves. Go and have a light ale or whatever. Yeah.
Wherever you are in the world.
Yes, exactly.
Mostly probably in the States, so you know it's probably
Go
lunchtime.
and have a nice light beer.
What, like a Coors or a Pepsi? Would be the same.
You'll have a light
Pepsi,
beer in America, don't they?
Wherever you are, anyway. Thanks very much for listening. It's been a Gadsby's England video podcast with the charismatic, the legendary Danny Mills.
We apologise now for all the political incorrectnesses.
Too late for that. I'm actually going to stand up, walk over, and turn us off. So, is there anything you want to say before I do that?
No, I'm just having a little doze now.
I thought you were catching a bit of Z during the podcast. Bye, everybody.